Can't hear you. You're on
No,
mute.
because I'm muted. Hello.
Hello, how you doing, main man? I tell you what,
Well,
that was interesting, wasn't it? Told you there'd be a
interesting but
penalty shootout.
boring as fuck.
Um, yeah, yeah, to be honest, Portugal didn't really do much. I'm not worried about them. If we play them, in the final, I wouldn't be too worried about them because they play, you know, well, let's be honest, they got a bit lucky today.
Yeah.
Slovenia really should have buried that one at the end. If he had only chipped it, he didn't need to put the power behind it because what he
No.
did was he just decided to welly it as hard as possible, which, then bounced back out. If he had just nicely, acutely placed it over that goalkeeper, it would have been Slovenia.
But do you think, as I was saying, and
Mm,
I've watched 2 games today of the most unbelievably paint drying, boring football that I have seen in a long, long time.
yeah, I think.
You, we looked at that when England played Slovenia,
Mm,
and we were saying how bad we were. We were awful. We were the 5th best team in the land. That they were 57th. Well, Portugal were only 1 place behind us, the 6th best team. No problem, Mike. No problem. They were the 6th best team in the world according to FIFA. It was
mm.
just fucking awful. That fight. It was almost like, I don't know whether Ronaldo was on a record or what tonight.
I
I mean,
don't know.
that was the
He's.
most exciting thing was watching Ronaldo cry.
Do you know what this is? Ronaldo in his day. As much as we dislike him,
I hate
for
him.
whatever reason,
I hate him.
yeah, I can't stand him to be honest.
Oh.
And I've got Portuguese cousins. And to be
And I can't stand Fernandez either.
no, I can't
Um,
stand either of them. But the thing is, this is what players going to the Saudi league does because they're playing, players that are weak, and it seems like Ronaldo's lost a little bit of his edge. If that sounds right.
France's not been doing too bad for France, though, has he?
No, he's not. No, he's not. But he's the exception. Jordan Henderson's not out there.
No,
Didn't hit
you're
the
right.
ground running for Ajax. So this is where I've always said for players to come to a tournament like this, they need to be playing against players who are of that ilk. Strong performers.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo has digressed. Of course, he is. He's not got age on his side, but to be honest, Portugal weren't very good. I think France will beat them, but to be honest, they weren't particularly good earlier on, from what I
But
saw.
we'll look at the France game separately.
Mhm,
This has been overall. Mike will be joining us a second, so I'll get his thoughts on it as well.
mm.
But this has been overall a hugely, hugely disappointing Euros. I cannot. I've written down
Mm,
games that have excited me in this tournament, and I struggled to get to 4.
go on.
I thought Spain, Croatia.
Yes.
I thought at that period Spain were really, really good. Netherlands, Austria.
Yes.
I thought that was okay. Sorry, Doug, if you're watching. Germany 5, Scotland 1. Simply
Yep.
because that was a masterclass. And in fairness, Germany had a lot of pressure on them. The home nation, opening game, the pressure's on you. I mean, I think we drew 0-0 with Switzerland at Euro '96 in the opening game,
Mm.
and possibly Turkey 0, Portugal 3. But I have got a big question mark against that.
I think you got to throw the Georgia games in there as well. Georgia beating Portugal.
To me, when I look at that game, was I excited by it? No, because Portugal had made 7 changes. So I
Well,
kind of looking at it thinking, yeah, okay, but it wasn't. And tonight's game, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, right, Portugal, fifth in the world. One of the best teams out there. They've got Ronaldo, they've got Fernandes,
Mm.
they've got Jota. I love
They
your.
won't win it. They won't win it because the
Oh,
thing is you look at Pepe at the back. You know how many times he got found out tonight against Slovenia. You know, coming
yes.
up against Mbappe. You know, he's not got pace. He's weak. You know, he should have retired a long time ago, to be perfectly honest, because I don't think he's at the top of his game. Like I think Ronaldo is digressing, but Portugal seem to have this thing, don't they, where they seem to keep hold of players and for a long, long period of time, whereas we don't tend to do that, do we? You know, it's good to have a bit of
Hmm.
experience in there when it comes to these tournaments. But you know, Pepe is how old is he? He must be 40, mustn't he? He must
Yeah,
be
I mean, he's very old.
pushed it,
He
isn't
did.
he?
He did what he needed to
Almost
do,
as
but
old as you.
against. Be careful here. But no, he coming up against a much better team. He will struggle.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I think um I think we would put them under a bit of pressure. To be fair, well, that's hold on. If Ollie Watkins was to come up against Pepe and play on Pepe's shoulder, he would not
Hmm.
have a chance. Would not have a chance. So yeah, he's born in 1983, which does make him 41 years of age.
Wow.
41 years of age. Yeah, honestly, I just don't
What, like you
rate
say,
him.
would a 41-year-old get into our team, like you say?
No, 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 no. Well, Rooney's been making cock-ups of management, and he's younger than that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Rooney's actually a couple of days younger than me.
God. I
I'm a
don't know
lot
what to
better
say to
looking though.
that. I don't know what to say to that. But
Oh
look,
dear, but
look, talk us through that game. First of all, the pitch. They had an NFL game on it.
why? Stupid.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, honestly, it's absolutely ridiculous. Some of the pitches in this tournament for a country which has got, you know, such a good league in the Bundesliga,
Mm.
it is a shambles. Some of the pitches. Um, Yesterday's one for us wasn't very good either.
No.
I think yeah, some of the pitches they should have done a lot better with. Um, And let's be honest, they get a lot of money for hosting this tournament. They should, you know, pretty much relay these grounds.
Well, it's
It,
been relayed 3 times.
mm, that is the last game at Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Likewise, it's the last game, and I'm a bit disappointed about this because you know when you know when we've been there twice, Gelsenkirchen, even though the pitch is a load of shit, that walk that walk is unique that the players do before the match through what is like a tunnel of coal. I think I absolutely love that. But you know, no denying the pitch is absolute toilet. But yeah, it's such a shame because I think you know I think it's harder to get going when the pitches are like that.
Mm.
I think it's
Look,
harder to get
you
going.
don't expect that in this day and age at
No,
a major tournament. And what were they doing taking the money for an NFL game, stick it in a ground that isn't going to be hosting European games?
well, exactly. You know, the next game is for England is at Dusseldorf, which you know between France and Belgium was one of the better pitches that I saw. But to be honest, it's still not great. It looked a bit grey on there, but to be honest, at least the ball moved a little bit better. So yeah, it's very disappointing, very disappointing, and I wouldn't be surprised if UEFA turn around and you know if we'll have to see between you know the winners of Romania, Netherlands, and Austria, Turkey, what the pitch is like in Berlin. Of course,
Mm.
Switzerland beat Italy there, and I think it was quite good. But you know, I think if it's not good, I wouldn't be surprised that UEFA turn around and say, right, quickly do something with it. They would have a 8 days to do it. It's possible. It's possible to do that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if UEFA say that.
Right. Let's get Mike in. Hi, Mike. How you doing, mate?
Hello, Mike. You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. You? To
Yeah,
both?
all good.
bad,
All
not so
good.
bad. Right, just to sort of slip in with us as to where we were. Talk to us about that pitch. I mean, it was disgusting, wasn't it? Absolutely disgusting. When England played Denmark on that pitch, and it was kicking up. That they played an NFL game on that earlier in the year when they know it's going to be in a major tournament.
To be honest, until I heard it, I think it was either on Twitter or in comms. I didn't actually know that they used NFL because I didn't think NFL was like used over there in that part of the world. But to know that you've got a massive tournament coming in a few months, to go and have that sort of type of sport on that pitch, it's stupid. It's really stupid. And as much as I like to banter England, the state of that pitch for the Denmark game, you cannot play football on that. They were passing the ball, and the ball was getting stuck in what looked like bloody rabbit holes. The pitch was tearing up left, right, and centre. It is a joke. But not just that. Also, why is UEFA allowing it? Like UEFA should have stepped in and said, "No, hang on a minute. You know, if you want to go and play your, American sport on this continent, don't do it in a city or in a country where we've got our biggest tournament coming around the corner." Because obviously UEFA is the Euros is UEFA's biggest tournament they've got, and the biggest stage. Loads of millions of people are going to be watching this, and they're going to be thinking, "Wow, this is their big tournament, their big thing that they've been looking forward to for 3 years, basically." Because the last Euros obviously was delayed, and they're allowing NFL games and they're allowing their pitches to be teared up pretty much. UEFA have failed massively in this tournament so many times, and this one probably tops it all.
But
just out of interest,
they're more concerned about a player scratching his balls after winning a game.
Oh, stupid.
Jude Bellingham is an England player, and I normally hate England, but come on, get off the guy's back. It is get off the guy. What? Why? They're just waiting for a news story, and you will know, Chris. Obviously, you was working in the newspaper. A lot of the rubbish newspapers, a lot of the rubbish journalists. Not yourself. You're not a rubbish journalist. But a lot of the poor standard will scratch so far under the surface to try and find any sort of story or any sort of something to claw and basically make these guys look out to be idiots when really it's the people high up there are the knobs for allowing
definitely.
Just out of interest, actually, because the game between England and Denmark, which you referred to there, Mike, it's actually the same pitch as tonight.
Well, they haven't done any
No, it's exactly the same pitch. I just had to check it. Both games were held in Frankfurt. This is the last game there. But it's completely embarrassing because the ball doesn't flow as well, and it looks like a decent ball. If we did that in the Premier League, then the club who is responsible will be pulled up. And can you remember there was a number of teams that got pulled up for this. Wigan Athletic were one, Reading were another, Swansea City got pulled up for it. I'm trying to think of who else. But those three definitely got pulled up. And what have they all got on the pitches at the same time? Rugby. So why they even thought, well, I tell you what, let's play an NFL game before this tournament is stupid.
Ludicrous.
Mike, you're catching us up, but before we go into individual details on there, that's that. Well, both games today, but we're going to talk about the France one separately afterwards. Fucking bored me the pits off me. They were awful, were they not?
Yeah, both games were dreadful. What did we say on this show yesterday? Oh, France-Belgium will be end-to-end, be a good game. Portugal-Slovenia, Portugal probably get a couple of goals. Slovenia might give it a go.
Oh,
Rubbish. Absolute,
rubbish.
yeah, rubbish.
Yeah.
Both games
Totally.
slow. There was no tension. France were just knocking the ball around like it was like they were 3-0 up. Portugal were just wasting chances after chance after chance after chance. But yeah, we'll talk about that. The Portugal one you said first, isn't it? That
Yeah.
the amount of
Yeah.
chances wasted in that and the silly passing. I love Ronaldo, but my God, some of the stuff he was doing on, and even Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, these players are not mugs. They're on £400,000 a week, and they made very very hard work out of that. But it was, you're right, mate. When it said extra time, I was like, really? Another half an hour of this? I've just watched
Yeah.
90 minutes of the crap. Now I've got to try and get through another half an hour of it. It was, very, very poor from good teams as well.
Oh, totally, 100%. And let's talk Ronaldo. As soon as you brought him up, has he got something on? Oh Christ, what's he called? The Portuguese manager. His name slipped my Martinez. Because he could not do a thing right, but he was not taken off. If that was an England player, we'd have been screaming for him to come off.
I think it is difficult, and I know whatever I say from whatever angle I come on it, you can easily say the point to why he should be taken off. But I just think there's that Martinez is a crap coach. Anyone that has watched the Premier League, he's incompetent. He failed with Belgium. He's a crap coach. Hasn't got any tactics. So his thinking is just keep him on there. Just hope that something happens. Hope that he can do something to get me out of the crap. Because if they would have lost that tonight, he's gone. He would have been gone, Roberto Martinez, because he failed with Belgium's golden generation. This is Portugal's golden generation now. I know Ronaldo's still there, but Leao, Ramos, Vitinha, the amount of young, good, up-and-coming players in that Portuguese team.
Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe, the young Pepe alongside the experienced Ruben Diaz. Pepe is still, I've said it in the chat, Pepe, for his age, has probably been Portugal's best player if you take into consideration what you expect from him.
I don't think so. I think he gets caught. And to be honest, Slovenia had that chance because of a Pepe mistake. I just think he's just lacking that pace. He was a great player. He's been a great player. Well, I don't know what his first Euros were. Probably Euro 2000 or something ridiculous like that. I'll have to check it. But I tell you what, that's some stint. Some stint. I'm still in school.
I know this is Ronaldo's 6th Euros. So I imagine it's Pepe's the same. But to answer Chris's question, I don't know what he has to do to get. Well, he took him off in the last game. No, not the last. Was it the last? Yeah, he took him off in the last game after an hour against Georgia. And arguably,
they were through then, weren't they? They were through.
I was going to say, arguably,
it's a case of it's a bit like Southgate won't take Kane off. Look, Mike, I'm not going to ask you this one because I know that you are Ronaldo's love child. But Craig, how good was it to see him in fucking tears?
Oh, do you know what? It throws back. It throws back to what he did with Wayne Rooney and the Winker. I'll tell you
what did you say then?
The Winker.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said he was a wanker. I was going to say you're quite right.
Yeah, he is as well. But
oh, come on, he cheats, Mike. No.
He honestly, I just think. I think firstly, he's been a great player, but he has lost the shade now, and he's really, really lost the shade because he's playing in Saudi Arabia. Like I said, he's coming up against players that are but probably on very, very low wages. In Saudi's terms. And what Saudi, it's a bit like the MLS when Beckham went over there. most of the league was crap. But Beckham was there. Doesn't mean they can do it all on their own. But if you're coming up against crap players, you're not testing yourself. Whereas if Cristiano Ronaldo was still at, say, for example, Manchester United, then he would be tested week in, week out against tough teams like AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And you've seen the comedy show, Craig. This is the Leicester Slide By a review of
I've got to say, mate, look, your name is absolutely so correct. But
oh, you
you hadn't noticed. But no, look, he basically, as far as I'm concerned, he's a cheat and he gets everything he deserved. Yes, they're through today, but he is. I was absolutely, to me, that was the highlight of the game, seeing him in tears. But look,
anyway,
he did what
France, Belgium.
You could imagine the I there, but you could also imagine an A.
Yeah, but look,
take your pick.
Look, Mike, you're probably not going to be very nice to me now after I did that to you. But look,
no,
England drew with Slovenia. England are the 5th best team in the world somehow. We're down from 4. Brazil have just taken over us. Slovenia, 57th. Everybody was saying to us, "Oh my God, how bad are you?" Portugal are 6th, so they're just one place behind us. They're literally about 50 points, something like that, behind us on the over the scale. And they, to be honest with you, did absolutely nothing, just the same as we did against Slovenia. Portugal ain't going to go very far in this competition playing like that. That final third ball for them was absolutely rubbish.
And it's quite a shame actually, because the midfield that they play are normally so solid. Vitinha and Bruno normally have like the freedom to pull the strings, and Palhinha, who is so underrated, just sits there. I do feel like against France they have to perform better, because otherwise they'll get stuffed. Even though France were below average today, they'll get stuffed playing like that. But yeah, I mean the final ball was what killed them off. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, not Bruno, Bernardo Silva tries so much. Even I don't know whether I rate Bernardo Silva as highly as what some people do, but he tries so much to make everything happen for Portugal, the same as Bruno Fernandes as well. And obviously, how much I rate him. But the final ball today was not like
the two most hated players in English football.
I am hated. I'm joking. I'm not hated. They're hated for some reason. Hated. But yeah, I mean, against Turkey, watch that game again. Their passing was ridiculous. It was smooth. It was like getting the ball into the final third. But I don't know if it was they took Slovenia for granted. They shouldn't have, because Slovenia have played excellently in this tournament to, not lose a game. Well, they haven't lost a game all tournament now, because obviously they drew that after 90 minutes. So Slovenia have gone through the whole tournament.
Okay, let me come to Craig on that point, because I'm sat here and all I can hear the BBC or ITV, well, it was BBC, wasn't it? Commentators were saying, "Oh, what? Haven't Slovenia done well? Aren't they playing well? Look, they've kept Portugal at bay." Blah. No,
I disagree.
Yeah, they were absolutely. Well, they weren't shy. That's being unfair. But the 57th in the world, so they did okay. But it wasn't a classic performance by them, because if it was a classic performance, they would have scored at least 2 goals. When that one at the end,
they're limited by quality, though, Chris. The thing is,
they are. But then say that. But then say, for what they've got, they were okay. You can't say it was a fantastic performance.
Yeah. No. I personally think that Slovenia did a decent job. It wasn't a classic performance from them. They should have scored that goal at the end, which would have meant no penalties. And Slovenia would be going, to face France, but it wasn't to be. And this is the problem this is the problem with teams like Georgia, and Slovenia, and not so much Slovakia, but those sort of teams, is they haven't got that threat up front. They seem to be well organised. And don't get me wrong. Yeah, Georgia were beaten 4-1 yesterday, but they were well organised. Throughout this tournament. Let's be honest, Spain were just on a rampage. When you look at it, they are lacking that bit of firepower.
Yeah.
A bit
I
like,
get
to be
that.
honest, England are really at the moment.
I do get that, but it's
Yeah.
like, Mike, they've qualified for the tournament. Well done to them. So they must have been able to score goals to qualify.
Yeah.
Call them plucky by all means. And I want to see teams like. I mean, for me, I think you should have a group where you've got Georgia, Gibraltar, San Marino, and all those to give them a chance to get through to the final. So I'm all for seeing them. But what I can't get through to it is, don't build them up into this sort of they're Man City number 2 because they held Portugal to a 0-0. They were plucky, but they weren't this fantastic team that Gary Lineker's been arse licking all through the evening.
Mate,
No,
mate,
again, like I mentioned with Georgia yesterday, it's the exact same. They're a hipster team. They're like, oh, they've done so well to get here. Let's congratulate them. Agree with you 100%. Congratulate them. Yeah, if you qualify for a major tournament, whether you're, even every tournament, or near enough every tournament, England, Germany, Spain, France, all these will be there. So whether it's Germany, England, or Macedonia, Brad's love child team, or Slovenia. Whoever qualifies, congratulate them. Yeah, well done on your qualification. But when they get there, if they stink the place out and literally sit back for 90 minutes in 3 games with the odd attack, tell the people when you're analysing it, like you said, Chris, okay, they may not have the quality of a France, of an England, of a Spain, of a Germany, but for what they are, they're a team that have come together to try and fight their way out of a group. Don't say what they're not. Don't say, oh, but they're a very good organised team, because I don't think they were that organised at all. I think they were just lucky that Portugal were off it, England were off it, Denmark were off it, and when they played a decent Serbia side, they nearly lost it. So I don't. Again, same as Georgia. Georgia ain't good. Georgia ain't good, and I'm embarrassed as a Portuguese fan that I'm embarrassed as a Portuguese fan that Slovenia held Portugal for that long, because they're not good. They've got a hipster up front in Sesko, which everyone thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, when he's awful, because he should have scored that chance at the end. He's got to bury it.
Gosh, yeah.
It's a one-on-one. How he doesn't score it is a joke. And they were like celebrating corners in like the 5th minute. So, yeah, I agree with you, Chris. They're not this team that Gary Lineker, Micah Richards, and Alan Shearer, and I think it was Jose Fonte were telling us that they are. Because you could just go back and look at the facts and look at their qualifying campaign. They didn't blitz teams. So yeah, don't tell us what they're not. Actually analyse what they did and break it in that way. Because they weren't
in their group. Sorry, just 1 second. In their group, Denmark came top of that group with 22 points. Slovenia came second with 22 points. They scored 20 goals. They only conceded 9, which I can see. In their group was Finland, Kazakhstan, Northern Ireland, and San Marino.
Apart from San Marino, that's not a bad. That isn't a terrible group. The thing
That's an
is,
easy group. That's an easy group.
Finland,
the powerhouse that is
are a
Finland.
decent side. Finland are a decent side. The thing is what you said earlier on with let's get Gibraltar and all those sort of teams. No, to be honest, this is why I was against the Euros expanding. I thought it should have just stayed as it was. 16 teams, top 2 go through, 3rd go home, job done. Because you do get teams that go through, like Scotland.
Got them going through. You want to bet the
No, I meant to the Euros in the bloody first place. But yeah, to be honest, this is why, I was against it expanding, because I think personally, hand on heart, I think, it should just be, the 16 best teams, top two go through to the knockout stages, get rid of this round of 16, straight onto the quarters.
Sorry, you're quite right. Sorry, Finland, an absolute powerhouse, the 63rd best team in the world.
They were at the last Euros and they didn't do too badly, if I'm right in thinking.
Then I think you're thinking of the women.
No.
I think you're thinking of Finland women, mate.
No, because Finland, do you know when Christian Eriksen had that awful moment?
I think they only got Finland. 1 point.
Oh, did they? I'll take it back.
I can't remember.
I'll hide.
But no, I mean, yes, I agree with you. Fuck this off the best third place team and all that shit.
Yeah.
That is absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
It cannot do teams like San Marino or Gibraltar any good to be in groups where they play in Germany, Spain. What the hell are they getting from that? And what are Germany and Spain getting from that? Absolutely nothing.
Oh, mate, honestly, when we played San Marino, do you know what?
Was it 8-0 or 9-0? What do we get from that?
I can't even remember.
Kane got a few extra goals on his tally.
To be honest, mate, I turned it off because it was bloody awful. And
exactly.
To be fair, I think, if us three, built a little team, full of people that was up the Cherry Fox, up the pub, then, we could put together a team that beat fucking San Marino. I'm sorry, they're crap.
Yes,
and Gibraltar are exactly the bloody same.
So stick them all together. Maybe throw Wales in there as well. But stick them all together. Sorry, Mike.
Wales aren't that bad.
I jest. But stick them all together so at least they can win a few games and they can, I mean, when was the last time Gibraltar won again? If I was a Gibraltar fan, I'd give up following them. Because they're never going to win.
That's what you've done with the Nations League, isn't it? But I think the Nations League should be looked at in a different way. I don't think you should be able to be promoted and relegated, because otherwise a big team from the third team just drops in with the San Marino. But
do you know what? I think that's
what you said about the Euros. I would change the Euros to a 32-team tournament, in my opinion. Change it to a 32 team, and then if you do last 16, do it as the top two in each group, like the World Cup, like the Champions League. Because for me, if you finish third, you're a loser. You don't, because it shouldn't be the third best placed team. It should be a lucky loser, because that's what it is. Because that's what they do in tennis. In tennis, if someone retires and they have to call a replacement, they call them a lucky loser, because you shouldn't be there, but luckily you're there. Like the third place, Portugal won the 2016.
The other thing I was going to say was, at no point in that game did Portugal's possession go under 60%. They had 60+% possession for the whole 120 minutes. In that time, Slovenia had 2 shots on target. Mm-hmm. This is an international team. And I'm not saying they don't deserve to be there. I don't deserve saying that they weren't outclassed. What I'm saying is it wasn't this fucking brilliant performance. Let's have a look at Portugal, though. I'll come to you, Craig, with this one. Would you expect a team that is 6th in the world to have 6 shots on target in 120 minutes? That obviously doesn't include the 3 penalties.
No,
you'd expect more, wouldn't you?
No, but would I have thought that the team that won the World Cup back in 2018, which isn't a long time ago, would I have really expected them to really struggle today, like they did against the Belgian side?
But I'm saying, Portugal. Portugal. Should they have had more than 20 shots? They had 6 of them were on target.
Oh gosh, they should have a lot more. But then again, England were the same. You know, let's be
But
fair.
we're not
We were the
talking
same
England
against.
at the moment. We're
No,
talking
but
Portugal.
making a comparison, we're the same as bloody
Yeah,
Portugal.
but I'm not comparing that. I'm saying, should Portugal? Oh, he does love going off on a fucking thing. This is what
That's
gets
the
you
bloody
muted.
answer. That's the fucking.
Answer the fucking question.
That's the answer.
Portugal.
You know, in the day,
Mark,
we should
I'll
be
ask you, Mike. You'll give me an answer. Should a team that is the 6th best in the world, 20 shots, with the likes of Ronaldo, Fernandes, Jota, who was the other one from Man City? I can't remember. Who, sorry?
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, Silva. Should they not have had more than 6 shots on target?
Yes, they should. That's the answer he was waiting for, Craig.
Thank you. You see how easy that is, Craig? Not that fucking mention of England in there at all.
Comparisons against other teams.
We don't need comparisons. We're comparing Portugal and we're comparing Slovenia.
We do. I'd make a good politician, wouldn't I?
Yeah, because you talk shit most of the time.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, most of them talk crap. So yeah,
they all talk crap.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Mike. I don't know why I come on these Blackie show.
I don't, to be honest with you. Good morning. Does anybody want to order breakfast? Because we can still be here. Right, let's get rid through this game.
Oh goodness.
I'm trying to see my thinking. One thing, okay, let me ask you this, and try and answer this without comparing Portugal to England or any other fucking team in the tournament. Portugal, Craig, they were playing today in red tops, green shorts, red socks, just in case you want that clarification.
Yes.
I have written down here 11 individuals, but no team.
Yes, I realised. Yeah.
Anyway, Mike, let me ask you.
Well, yes. What I would say from that comment that you've just made there.
No, Craig.
Continue.
In fairness to the question,
yes,
11 individuals, not a team.
Yes, I agree with you, Chris, wholeheartedly. Fuck's sake.
Mike, look, you've got some of your favourite players in there. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and not just 11 individuals, but some world-class players in that performance, in that team. Sorry, not in that performance at all. Nowhere near the performance. But it comes down to the manager. I think it generally comes down to the manager. I don't think Roberto Martinez has got the what's the word? The aura to tell Fernandes or
It's a sore subject, Mike, if you've realised.
Oh, yes.
It's a fucking sore subject, that.
But no, I mean, it just seemed that each one of them wanted to go out and win the game. There were so many chances where they could have played it to a teammate, and they didn't. They both booted it up to the space station.
Yeah, I think the main issue is it comes from all of them being egos. And I think that's the main problem that they have, that someone that Spain don't have. Because if you look at, Portugal, I'm not a Craig. So yeah, if you look at the Portuguese team, like so many of them have won so much in their career, they feel like they are the match winner. I don't know how many honours is on that pitch, but there must be a lot. Before you say it, yes, Bruno Fernandes only 2 at Man United. Yes, before we say that, but yeah, everyone wants to be the hero, and that's cool. You know, that shows winning mentality. You know, and nothing wrong with everyone wanting to be a winner. But when the most obvious pass is there, or when the most obvious cross is there, and they're whacking it in from 30 yards, like you said, I don't know. I think Ruben Neves' shot is still in orbit.
Yes,
that was ridiculous.
Oh, Craig said it was coming down in Molyneux, didn't you?
Yeah, he's just landed. He
got it on flight radar.
Or Ruben has.
Yeah. Look, like I say, plucky performance from Slovenia. Not world class, but they were unlucky to go out. But it was poor penalties, Craig, wasn't it? Please don't compare it to England penalties.
Oh gosh, yeah, it was. There's no other penalties to actually compare against at the moment, Chris. Calm down, calm down.
I thought he was going to say Ronaldo was Ronaldo's then.
Back in the Russia 2018 World Cup, though, there was a penalty shootout there that, the penalties were on par with. No, let's move straight on. No, to be honest, I think, the penalties by Slovenia were very, very poor. But then again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Costa Coffee.
Yes, you have. You do indeed. It was he could say, and Ronaldo's penalty. I mean, it was a great save in fairness from the keeper for Slovenia to push it onto the post, but the kicks that Slovenia were taking, they were at a nice height for him. They were, they didn't really test Costa, did they? Those goals, Mike, those penalties.
No. And that's what I mean. The media will make out like Diogo Costa's a massive hero. And don't get me wrong, saving 3 penalties in a shootout is incredible. Anyone who saves 3 penalties out of 3 deserves to, have plaudits and, people talk about it. But like you said, the quality of the penalties, I think, well, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I think San Marino would do better, but then I don't want to start comparing different teams, even though they both play in one. but honestly, the quality of those 3 penalties, I think most goalkeepers would save 2 out of 3, if not all 3. They were poor. They were perfect height. The players give Costa the eyes when they were stepping up, and you just knew where they were going. And Costa, he's a good keeper. Don't get me wrong, I like him, but he's not this massive hero now. He's a penalty king because he saved 3 crap penalties. Don't get me wrong, good to save 3 in a row. As soon as you save 1 in a shootout, you have that sort of confidence, momentum. I'm going to save the second. Then you save 2, and you're like, if I save this and my teammate scores, we're through. So I think adrenaline potentially got him 2 of those penalties saved. But yeah, the penalties from Slovenia were terrible.
Yeah,
most things they done tonight were terrible, overshadowed by a poor Portugal.
I think before we go on to the England game, England got me at it now. Before we go on to the France game, credit to Portugal for their penalties because, and I think they said this on the TV, there was no pressure on Slovenia when it came to those penalties. The pressure was all on Portugal.
That was me. That was that said that.
No, they said it on the TV.
Oh, did they say it on the TV as well? Sorry, I do apologise. I
Great.
stand corrected. But yeah, to be honest, the penalties from Slovenia, even Jimmy Quinn would have saved 2 of those, and he would have been nursing his dog at the time as well. But but coming back to the point, I think Portugal's penalties were very, very good, well taken. The second penalty, was a little bit cheeky. Now, I tell you what, we spoke about this yesterday, though, Chris. The run-up from Ronaldo for his penalty. Sorry, Mike, I'm going to piss you off here. For his run-up, that was wrong. Again, personally, he stopped and then restarted just his body and then took it.
But then you could argue, Chris, that Chris, sorry, Chris, I'm calling you out for nothing you haven't done. I'm sorry. You could also argue, Craig, that Oblak's foot was over the line for Ronaldo's penalty.
Call me Craig, and that happens, I'll tell you.
Sorry to insult you, Chris. But yeah, Oblak's foot was actually over the line when Ronaldo took his penalty in the game. So the rule.
And I'm going to say that I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that at all. But it's not against the rules as things stand at the moment. So you have to go with the rules, and it's allowed. And I'm going to end on this game with this point. As much as I don't like Ronaldo, he's a cheat, he's a diver.
No, I know where this is going.
No. The fact that he stood up and took that first penalty, all credit to him.
I thought he was going to say the charity line then.
No. I'm going to say I can't stand the man, and I wish he'd maybe get lost in a sandstorm in Saudi Arabia. He's not. Again, he's not this amazing player because, like you said, Craig, he's up against Rochdales and Oldhams, and Newports. No disrespect to those every week, but look, he was obviously, and I was pissing myself laughing at him crying. But he stood up and took that first penalty and he scored it. So fair play to Ronaldo for doing that. Credit where credit is due. Right. Very, very quickly, because I'm sure some of us are going to turn into pumpkins at midnight if we're not careful. And if you look at me, I've already started. Before anybody says it. France versus Belgium. Oh, my God. Look. The game, and I don't say that the game of the tournament is going to be Spain-Germany, because every time I build these games up and build these teams up, it's fucking awful. Look, second best team in the world, France.
Mhm.
Third best team in the world, if I can find it. Just bear with me.
How are they third, by the way?
Their golden generation's gone, Chris. That's the thing.
France are the second best team in the world after Argentina. Third best team in the world, Belgium. So you've got the second best team versus the third best team going out to play a game of football, and we get subjected to that. It was an abomination of a game of football. Those players should hang their heads in shame. Again, you've got class players on both sides. Mbappe, Bruno, Tielemans, although he didn't play today. There's some, Griezmann. But again, Craig, neither of those sets of players stood up to the mark. That should have been the game of the tournament so far, should it not?
Yeah, definitely. Lukaku still not scored. But he's not going to now. But yeah, to be perfectly honest, it was piss poor. France, Belgium probably looked a little bit nippier going forwards, but France seemed to pass it about and control the game a little bit more, but they didn't really do much with it. See, this is the thing. You've got a fantastic striker up front for France in Mbappe, and I just fathom why they didn't use him so much. Personally, I don't think France are going to win this tournament. I really don't. I really don't. Because even though Didier Deschamps, do you know what somebody said to me the other day? They said, Didier Deschamps, is
Oh, sorry, I just saw you going down on another route down there somewhere.
Yeah, they said Southgate has done better than Didier Deschamps. Hang on, where's the fucking hell's our World Cup? What do I do? Just lift this?
Yeah. But
that's
again,
our World Cup so far.
Let me drag you back to France-Belgium, because we're not talking England, Craig. Is there a part of we're not talking England that you don't understand? I can get Mike to say it in Welsh for you if you understand.
Go on, Mike. I want to hear this.
Go on, Mike.
I know what it is.
He can't fucking speak Welsh, can he? That's his trouble. Mike, would you agree with that, though? All joking aside, Southgate hasn't done better than Deschamps. No, not by any mile.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
But France, Belgium, second against third. 20 attempts from France, very few on target. 6 attempts from Belgium. The third best team in the world has 6%, 6 shots during the whole fucking game.
I was worried that was going to go to extra time, to the point where when Colomani, it turned out to be Tottenham's old mate Jan Vertonghen, who the own goal went down as, but it got to the point on my watch long when that ball went in, I celebrated.
Yeah,
celebrated. Yeah. I knew there was no extra time, and that is embarrassing when you're watching a game, second versus third in the world, and you're celebrating because it's not going to extra time. Normally, if a game like that goes to extra time, you're like, oh, it's been a really good game. Both teams at it. They just can't break each other down because they're two world-class teams. I want another 30 minutes of this because this is brilliant. That bored the bloody ass off me. Because the thing that is still surprising me to this day is how Jeremy Doku gets minutes for Belgium. He is the worst player I've seen in a long time. And Giroud as well. Why Giroud does not get minutes for France when he's their record goal scorer? So some question marks, that will never be answered from that game. But Mbappe, why? I don't know why they don't give him the ball as much. Everything Mbappe does is pretty much what he does himself. He picks the ball up, runs past about 4 players, and has a shot on goal, and then everyone criticizes him, but no one passes him the ball otherwise.
Well, let me say this, because that was going to be my next point, and I've got to say, if you look at the graphic in that top corner there, Kevin De Bruyne is asking us to be quiet about Belgian stats. But
he should be asking, asking him where he is. I didn't see
I've
him.
written down here, and I'm only going off this game, but I've written down here, Craig, Mbappe. Is he all that? He was absolutely nothing today.
They didn't use him, but then again, when he did get used, he didn't do a call.
No. I'm not. I just say to Mike there. I know he's good, etc., etc. But in that game, Craig, he was as awful as the rest of them.
Yeah, to be honest, he sometimes goes missing in games. He always has. I don't understand it with Mbappe. To be fair, when was it when Newcastle played PSG, he just disappeared for the majority of the game, and then started playing it in the last 5 minutes. To be honest, Mbappe, quality player, very, very dangerous in the right position. But he's a little bit like Harry Kane, isn't he? That's the thing. Probably a little bit better than Harry Kane, but I don't think
England Day, Craig.
We've got Craig. I'm going to ask. Let me ask. I'll ask you first of all, Mike, about France, and I'll come to you about Belgium, Craig. So 20 shots they had. This is the second best team in the world with the most expensive player in the world wearing a mask. Obviously wants to go into hiding, but look, all joking aside, he should be. He's up there. You've got the world's best player playing up front for you. You're the second best team in the world. You have 20 shots in the game, 2 on target. 2 shots on target for the second best team in the world with Mbappe and Griezmann. What the fuck? They could not pass wind in that game. Griezmann was passing the ball every fucking way but to his own players.
Yeah, I remember just on the passing before I get onto the 2 out of 20 conversion rate. The passing looks so... N'Golo Kante, one of the best passers of the football we've seen in the last 10 years. When he's receiving the ball, he looks so shaky on it. And I'm like, this is not the Kante that, we've seen in the last... look, I know he's at Saudi Arabia, but that doesn't make a difference. He's still playing good there from what the stats I've seen. And just his passing was off. The ball when it eventually got to Griezmann, you're thinking, right, turn, make something happen, because we know Griezmann can. And it was just like wasteful passes, which then Belgium were picking the ball up, and then they were wasting the passes. It was awful to watch. And the shots, I mean, you've got a guy who's just gone to Real Madrid to be the new number 9, which obviously I rate and everyone does rate, despite the bad performance today and in this tournament. And you've got Griezmann, you've got Dembele sat on the bench, you've got France's record goal scorer on the bench in Giroud. And the shot, it felt like Deschamps was 2-3-0 up. And he was just sat back. It was like Craig said earlier, it was like they were just passing the ball around. They were just, not really doing anything. They were just passing it, not looking for the forward pass. It was very slow and turgid and awful to watch, basically. But yeah, 2 out of 20 shots for the second best team in the world.
While we're talking France, they've not scored a goal from open play in 4 games in this competition. They've only scored 1 of their own goals, and that was a penalty. The other 2 have been own goals.
And that penalty they scored was in a game that meant nothing as well.
No, yes, coming on to Belgium, Craig,
Yes.
third best team in the world. For a long
Yes.
time, they were the best team in the world. Let me just get their details up. So 20 attempts for France, 2 on target. They also had 2 on target, Belgium, so they were no worse, but 6 attempts. 6 attempts in a knockout stage of a competition where you're the third best team in the world. I'm sorry. Again, that's shocking.
Kevin De Bruyne, fantastic player, but it's so disappointing. Their golden generation has gone. Lukaku is a battering ram, but he is nothing. Sometimes he does go missing at towards the end.
Well, it says that I had to write down what the guy said because Lukaku has been marked out of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I didn't even know he was on the pitch for most of the game.
Yeah, to be honest, I think, you're quite right. You're quite right. It was, you'd expect them to do a lot better than they did. And they would be expected to do a lot more than that. But there's other teams in the competition that have done poorly.
Well, let me on that point, and that leads me very nicely on. Thank you very much, Craig. You nod them over, I'll kick them in. If we look at the top 10 teams here in the world that are European, and you could say European. No, my ice lolly's melting, but thank you very much. So France are second.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
France are second. Belgium are third. England are fifth. God knows how. Portugal are sixth. Netherlands are seventh. Spain are eighth. Croatia are 9. Italy are 10th. Apart, I would say, Spain, as anybody really, any of those teams, I would say, as far as they've all disappointed in this tournament so far.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. To be honest, I don't know if either of you have got any interest in Copa America, but I think Venezuela could overtake all of the fucking teams in there soon. Because I tell you what, they're a good bet to get to the World Cup. Venezuela, keep that there. But and do well at it as well. But coming back to the point, I don't think any of the teams apart from Spain look dangerous up front at all. Certain teams have got better midfielders at midfield. I don't know what Italy are doing anywhere near that. To be honest,
Euros, isn't it?
But they have been shite for so many years, and then of course they come up against England and beat us. That out it written the stars. That did.
Penalties.
But what I'm saying is, they have been shite for so many years, and to be honest, they go and fucking beat us. You couldn't make it up. But none of those teams in there.
I've written down here, do teams know that they are in the knockout stages? Because so many of those games that we've watched, apart from Spain, but Spain took ages to get into gear. Georgia were giving them a fair go before they eventually overpowered them. They seem to be playing these knockout games like they were group games. Now, Germany, they're 16th in the world, but let's be honest with you, they haven't played any competitive games because they're the hosts. So that's why they have dropped down so far.
I tell you, the team though, if they had got through to this stage, because they were starting to peak. They started to peak at the end of that group stage, and they got off to a terrible start. Croatia would be dangerous at this point in time. I really do think so.
Yeah. Looking at that, Mike, there, you've got Spain to play Germany, Portugal to play France. Just checking my flags there, Craig. England to play Switzerland, and obviously we've got the final games, round of 16 tomorrow. Italy out. Had England lost to Slovakia, and I'm asking this obviously as a neutral, Belgium had gone out, and if Portugal had gone out today, which has been the biggest shock result?
Oh, good question.
Italy obviously are the biggest result because they're out. But if those other results had gone that way, which would have been the biggest shock?
I know what you mean. If they did go out, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to probably say England because based off expectation and based off sort of media prediction and media thoughts, I'd probably say if England, if England lost to Slovakia, considering Slovakia got through as a third place team, and obviously everyone assumes the third place team, they are losers basically, as we mentioned earlier. Yeah, I think England losing to Slovakia would be high up there. I don't think Italy is as high as what they are because Switzerland beat France at the last Euros on penalties, and I think did they lose to England on penalties in the Nations League or did they beat?
They did, yeah. That was the one where we came third. We don't talk about the last one because we got relegated.
Oh no! Did you mention Portugal as well?
If Portugal had lost tonight, yes.
Portugal losing to Slovenia would have been more of a shock than England losing to Slovakia.
Slovakia were in that group though, where everybody finished on 4.
Yeah,
that I think Slovakia. We got to give them a little bit of credit because they did. Throughout the tournament, they did actually put in some dangerous performances, and they looked good in the group stage. I think personally, we should have still wiped the floor with them, but at the same time, they were a tough team. We've got a tougher game coming up on Saturday, of course, but yeah, I think I agree with Mike. I think Slovenia beating Portugal would have been a bigger surprise because Slovenia aren't very well known for scoring many goals, as we've seen at these tournaments.
Yeah. And Craig, looking at Friday's games, and there's only really one game that's going to be worth talking about on Friday. And we'll all be, well, I know Mike will be and I will be as well covering both games. Spain, Germany. Whoever goes out on there that won't be counted as a shock, will it?
No. I think it could go either way, this one, because I think, Spain are, arguably the better side. Germany are the host nation. That always counts for something.
Yeah.
Germany are very organized. The Spanish are a little bit fresh. Probably aren't as well organized, but have got that attacking power. So I'll tell you what, that's going to be a very, very interesting game because it's going to be a team that is well drilled, well organized, dangerous still up front against a team which is rough, ready, but probably, one of the best teams, in my opinion, in the world at the moment. And they really have, come on leaps and bounds since the last World Cup because they weren't particularly very good in Qatar, but they have changed their whole philosophy.
They got grouped in.
I can't remember who did you say you thought was going to win the whole thing? Did we actually go that far?
No, we didn't.
I said Spain. I think we did slightly mention. I said Spain are going to win it.
And are you still sticking with Spain?
Yeah, I've seen nothing from any other team in this tournament that can beat Spain, and I know it probably can't happen. So don't get ahead of me right now. But Germany beat Brazil 7-1 when Brazil were hosts.
I was watching that last night. I actually watched that last night.
Spain do something similar to Germany. That would be the biggest bit of karma ever.
Yes.
But I don't think it'd be good for our watch-alongs, Chris, if it was 7-1.
Yeah, well, yes. My God, it'd be like I don't want. I'm happy for 8 goals, but just spread it over a few games if you could do, please.
Give us 2 each.
Yeah, exactly. Craig, were you a Spain fan? Are you putting your?
Oh, come on, Chris! It's coming home. He's coming home. I'm completely incorrect about Gareth Southgate. The man is a fucking genius, and he's going to bring home the trophy. And then
Tactical professor.
exactly, and follow it up with the World Cup in 2 years' time. Bish, bash, bosh, all done.
And I do mean the last question now. He's sticking with England, and fair play to him. I'm with you, Mike. I'm Spain.
Deep down, I'm with you as well, but
No.
I'm showing a bit of faith.
This is the best chance we've got of winning the fucking competition. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's nobody on our side of the draw that should stop us getting to the final. Mike,
Agreed.
if we get to the final, I think Spain will give us the hardest game, then Germany. Nothing I've seen from Portugal or France today convinces me that they would nullify. I mean, it could be the most boring game ever with the way England have been playing, but there's nothing that scares me now about playing Portugal or France, unless it goes to penalties. And on our half, I mean, Romania, I think, are the ones that might just stretch me. But anybody there, like I say, apart from Spain and Germany, anybody there that you think England should be scared of?
I don't necessarily think scared for anyone, but I'd be wary of Austria.
You gotta love that accent, though. You're scared. No, scared.
It's scared. But I think the one is Austria. So many people have hyped this Austria team up to good effect, basically, because I think they're a very good team. And people have mentioned Slovenia playing well when they haven't, but this Austria team, they all just, when they all press together. Like, you turn the corner and you've got 4 Austrian players running at you.
That's called sardines, isn't it? All pressed together. No,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll make a statement here. Whoever wins that Turkey-Austria game will have to get past if we get past Switzerland.
I think Austria.
I think that's fucking obvious.
No, it could be Romania or Holland, for fuck's sake.
I mean, get past them.
Well, it could be Netherlands or Romania, couldn't it?
No, it won't be the bloody Netherlands with that moron.
I'll tell you what. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm so glad to have a Welshman in here to have a sensible conversation with. Yeah, you can flip that and play that back to me. Guys, thank you so very much. It is we're all going to turn into pumpkins in 3 minutes, so I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Where can they find you, Craig?
You can find us on Up the Cherries in All Departments, UTC IAD. We've had Harry Redknapp.
Oh, there he goes. Bye, mate. Bye. He'll learn. Mike, where can people find you?
Yeah, Mike Green on YouTube. I've actually started a second channel as well called Mike Reacts, where I'm going to be doing like other neutral content from next season, doing other types of watch-alongs. So I want to try and keep my channel, Chris, just like Newport and League 2 related. I don't want to start going off into other things.
So your Man United is going to be on the second channel, is it?
Yeah, or like La Liga, football, Champions League watch-along, stuff like that. Yeah, so Mike Reacts, all one word, not space. And we haven't had Harry Redknapp on that new channel yet.
Is that going to be like where you have one of those games where you electrocute each other? No? Oh, I just thought.
Yeah, I thought that was coming.
Yes, yeah.
Barrytown versus Dog and Duck Athletic.
United.
Mike, you'll be doing the 2 watch-alongs tomorrow, so will I. And then we get a bit of a break, thank God. And then it's all good, kicks off Friday and Saturday. Guys, thank you so very much for coming in. I'll let you go. I've got to be up in 6 hours. God help me. Having said that, I'll just watch those last 2 games, the highlights. That'll send me to sleep.
Yeah. Chris, otherwise, you can watch one of my videos.
That's true.
Yeah, but he said fall asleep. That would just knock him out. Are you doing this tomorrow, Chris, as well?
Probably yes. If you guys want to come on, we'll probably do this tomorrow.
Go on.
And then we'll possibly do a roundup of the last 16
show.
Sorry,
I said if you're doing a show rounding up the last 16, that'll be a quick show. It'll be done in half.
Yes, exactly. The highlights.
How long can we drag it?
That was it. Guys, thank you very much. Have a good night.
See you later, mate.
See you later. Take care.
Bye, Craig. Bye.
See you.
There we go, guys. Thanks so very, very much to the Pinky and Perky there. And did I call them that then? Yeah, I think that's their names, isn't it? Pinky and Perky. You work out which ones are the perkier of the two. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to do it all again. And you know what? Tomorrow we've got, and it can't be any worse today, Romania, Netherlands, and Austria, Turkey. I know what Mike was saying about Austria, but I have a sneaky feeling for Romania. Just trying to keep my neighbour happy. Guys, thank you very much. Please smash the likes if you're watching. Subscribe. It's always a help. Both of those things do help the channel. And I will see you tomorrow at 7. I'm off now. I'm going to be up at 6. If you want to listen to me at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock in the morning doing the breakfast show, good luck with that. Because I'll probably be snoozing through it. Need to set me alarms. Take care, guys. Thanks you very much for watching. All the best. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.